The Hoysaleshwara temple, also referred simply as the Halebeedu temple, is a 12th century Hindu temple dedicated to the god Shiva. It is the largest monument in Halebeedu, a town in the state of Karnataka, India, and the former capital of the Hoysala Empire. The temple was built on the banks of a large man-made lake and sponsored by King Vishnuvardhana of the Hoysala Empire. Its construction started around 1121 and was completed in 1160. During the early 14th century, Halebeedu was twice sacked and plundered by the Muslim armies of the Delhi Sultanate from northern India, and the temple and the capital fell into a state of ruin and neglect. The Hoysaleshwara temple is a Shiva monument, yet reverentially includes many themes from Vaishnavism and Shaktism tradition of Hinduism, as well as images from Jainism. The Hoysaleshwara temple is a twin temple dedicated to Hoysaleshwara and Santaleshwara Shivalingas, named after the masculine and feminine aspects, both equal and joined at their transept. It has two Nandi shrines outside, where each seated Nandi face the respective Shivalingas inside. The temple includes a smaller sanctum for the Hindu sun god Surya. It once had superstructure towers, but no longer, and the temple looks flat. The temple faces east, though the monument is presently visited from the north side. Both the main temples and the Nandi shrines are based on a square plan. The temple was carved from soapstone. It is notable for its sculptures, intricate reliefs, detailed friezes, as well as its history, iconography, inscriptions in North Indian and South Indian scripts. The temple artwork provides a pictorial window into the life and culture in the 12th century South India. About 340 large reliefs depict the Hindu theology and associated legends. Numerous smaller friezes narrate Hindu texts such as the Ramayana, the Mahabharata, and the Bhagavata Purana. Some friezes below large reliefs portray its narrative episodes. The artwork in Hoysaleshwara temple is damaged but largely intact. Within a few kilometers of the temple are numerous ruins of Hoysala architecture, including the Jain Basadi complex and the Kedareshwara temple. The Hoysaleshwara temple, along with the nearby Channakeshwara temple at Belur and the Keshwara temple at Somanatpura, was declared a World Heritage Site by UNESCO in 2023 as part of the sacred ensembles of the Hoysalas. The Hoysala period of South India history began about 1000 CE and continued through 1346. In this period, they built around 1500 temples in 958 centers. Halebeedu was originally called Dora Samudra in its inscriptions, possibly derived from Dwara Samudra, Sanskrit word Dwara, gateway or door, and Samudra, ocean, sea, large water body. The capital used to be Belur, Karnataka, but Dwara Samudra became the established capital under King Vishnuvardhana and served as the capital of Hoysala Empire for nearly 300 years. Unlike other Hoysala temples that have survived into the modern age, and despite numerous inscriptions in the temple premises, the Hoysaleshwara temple lacks a dedicated inscription. It is likely lost along with many other features of the original temple. An inscription found about 5 kilometers from the temple site near Kaleshwara temple ruins in Gattadahalli states that Ketamalla, officer in the employ of King Vishnuvardhana, constructed this temple. It also notes that the king made grants of lands to support the construction, the operation and the maintenance of the Shiva temple in Saka 1043 or 1121 AD. It was not the only temple built in that area. The inscription suggests that the capital consists of numerous other temples, both of Hinduism and Jainism traditions, along with stepwells, ponds and mandapas, or mandapams and public halls in the vicinity of the large Dorasamudra lake. It is the largest temple built by the Hoysalas. The Hoysala Empire and its capital Dorasamudra was invaded, plundered and destroyed in early 14th century by the Delhi Sultanate armies of Alauddin Khilji, with Belur and Halebeedu becoming the target of plunder and destruction in 1326 by another Delhi Sultanate army of Sultan Muhammad bin Tughlaq. The territory was later taken over by the Vijayanagara Empire. The Hoysala kingdom came to an end in the mid-14th century when King Ballala III was killed in a war with the Muslim army of Madurai Sultanate. Dorasamudra and its temple became ruins, the capital abandoned, and the site became known as Halebeedu, literally old camp or capital. About 300 of the original Hoysala Empire temples survive in different states of damage scattered around Karnataka. Of these, about 70 had been studied to varying degrees of detail by 1995. With the defeat of Tipu Sultan in 1799, Mysore came under the influence of the colonial British rule and scholarship. The Hoysaleshwara temple ruins were among the earliest surveyed, then earliest photographed in the 1850s, and the subject of several rounds of goodwill repairs and restoration that lack thorough documentation. Ruin panels from other temples were reused here to cover the Nandi Mandapa. Pots of friezes used to repair the plinth. Thus, the Hoysaleshwara temple, as it survives the contemporary era, is a composite of the original Hindu temple architecture and design that was open, to which stone screens with outer walls and doors were added by the 14th century, whose crowning tower, Shikara, have been lost, and whose ruins were repaired and restored many times in the 19th and 20th century. The Hoysala temple is a twin temple or Dvikuta Vimana, planned with two shrines and two superstructures. The two temples are of the same size and their sanctums open to the east facing sunrise. The sanctum of Hoysaleshwara the king and the other for Shantaleshwara the queen, Shantala Devi, both have a Shivalinga. Outside on the east side of the main temples are two smaller shrines, each with seated Nandi. To the east of the southern Nandi shrine is a smaller attached Surya shrine where there is a 7 feet tall Surya statue facing the Nandi and the sanctum. Historians state that the Hoysaleshwara temple shows evidence of other shrines, but these are now missing, lost to history. The temple complex as a whole is placed on a Jagati, literally worldly platform. The platform is 15 feet wide around the outer walls of the temple, meant for the visitor to walk on and view the artwork clockwise while completing the circumambulation of the sanctums. It is called the Pradakshina Patha, path for circumambulation. The smaller shrines share the same Jagati as the main temple, connected by stone stairs. The two sanctums are next to each other in a north-south alignment. Both face east and each have in front a mandapa, also spelled Mantapa, community hall. The two mandapams are connected, giving a view of a large open Navaranga for family and public gatherings. The temple had towers on top of each sanctum, but they are now missing. According to historians, these towers must have followed the star shape of the shrine because Hoysala temples that are better preserved have them. The superstructure over the vestibule which connects the shrine to the mandapa, called Sukhanasi, a lower tower that looks like an extension of the main tower, is also missing. Similarly, the row of decorated miniature roofs, the eastern perimeter walls and other shrines with the main temple are all gone. The temple was built with chloritic schist, more commonly known as green schist or soapstone. The soapstone is soft when quarried and easier to carve into intricate shapes, but hardens over time when exposed to air. The temple's outer walls are intricately carved. Its lowest layers consist of bands with friezes that consist of, from bottom to top, elephants, lions, scrolls with nature and miniature dancers, horses, scrolls, scenes from Hindu texts, mythical beasts, makara and swans. The artwork shows details as no two lions are alike in the entire span that covers more than 200 meters. The temple's outer wall is a pictorial narration of Hindu epics and its middle portion has large panels where the entire pantheon of Hindu divinities are presented. It's a manual of Hindu iconography. The quality and quantity of the epics related friezes are amazing, but the panel series do not complete the story in a stretch. Rather, after a stretch, another text is intermingled in for a while. The outer walls of the Hoysaleshwara shrine features 340 large reliefs. The friezes and wall images on the outer wall predominantly narrate the Ramayana, the Mahabharata, Bhagavata Purana, other major Shaiva and Vaishnava Puranas. Some main displays include on the northeast outer wall of the northern Shiva temple, court scene, Bhairava, Bharavi, Samudra Mandan, musicians with 12th century musical instrument, Sukracharya, Kacha Devyani legend, Lakshmi, Uma Maheshwara, Vamana, Bali, Trivikrama legend, Indra legend, Veerabhadra, Shiva in yoga, etc. On the southeast outer wall of the northern Shiva temple, dancers, Bhairava, Bhairavi, Uma Maheshwara are present. On the northeast outer wall of the southern Shiva temple, Krishna's Leela from Bhagavata, Vasudeva in prison, followed by carrying newborn Krishna across Yamuna legend, Krishna slaying Putani and other Asuri, Krishna stealing butter, Krishna playing flute with humans and animals dancing, Krishna and Pradyumna legend, Krishna lifts the Govardhana, Yudhishthira and Sakuni playing dice, Kichaka molests Draupadi and Bhima meets Kichaka dressed up as a woman to return justice. On the southeast outer wall of the southern Shiva temple, Bhishma Parva and Drona Parva of the Mahabharata, Vishnu standing, dancers and musicians celebrating the victory of Arjuna over Drona. On the southwest outer wall of the southern Shiva temple, Arjuna with Krishna episodes in the Mahabharata, dancers festively celebrating the victory of Pandavas, the Mohini legends in the Vedas, Dakshinamurti, Uma Maheshwara, Tandaveshwara, Vishnu, Arjuna meets Shiva legends, Aranya Parva of Mahabharata, Bhima and Bhagavata legend, Bhairava, Ganesha, Vishnu and Vamana, dancers and musicians at the marriage of Parvati and Shiva, Vishnu, Shiva, Brahma together, Shanmukha and Tarakasura legend, Tandaveshwara, three-faced Brahma on a swan, Shiva with Ganesha and Kartikeya, Narsimha doing yoga, Durga's Mahishasura Mohini dancing, etc. On the northwest outer wall of the southern Shiva temple, reclining Vishnu with all gods and goddesses in reverence. Prahalada Hiranyakashipu Narsimha legend from the Bhagavata Purana, Mohini as Bhairavi with Bhairava, Rama fighting Ravana from the Ramayana, Indra seated, Brahma with Saraswati, Karna, Arjuna, and Bhima Dusasana legends from the Mahabharata, Uma Maheshwara, Ganesha, a kissing scene between a man and a woman, musicians, dancers, Mohini stories, more courtship and kissing scenes, Kali, Shakti legends, and Arjuna legends. The temple has four entrances. The one normally used by visitors as main entry nowadays is the northern entrance closest to the parking lot. There is one entry on the south side and two on the east side, facing two large detached open pavilions whose ceiling is supported by lathe-turned pillars. The temple originally had an open Navaranga wherein the Mandapa pavilions were visible from outside shrines and outside was visible to those in the Mandapa. In the era of Hoysala King Narasimha I, the Mandapa was closed, doors were added and perforated stone screen placed. According to inscription found in the temple, along with the four doors, the later artists added Dwarapalagas and decorations.